Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Bhadayate Krishna Krishna Namne Gauritasai Nama. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagapate Gopesha Gope Kanta Radha Kanta Namasute Tapta Janchan Gaurangi Shirade Vrindavameshwari Krishna Sute Devi Pranamame Hari Vancha Kalpatarubhesha Kripa Sindhuevcha Patanam Pramnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gauraparina. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So there are so many proper disciples. Where to start, where to end is so difficult to understand. But it's something very, very important. So these are the photos of those Vaishnavas who have already departed, proper disciples. And if you see, we are fortunate in one sense that still we have some proper disciples living on planet Earth. But after 5 to 10 years, you may not find Srila Prabhupada disciples. And we can know Srila Prabhupada through Prabhupada disciples. And it is so important to understand the life of Srila Prabhupada's disciples. So first I'll say, take the life of His Holiness Gaur Govind Swami Maharaj. So Gaur Govind Swami Maharaj, he was born in Odisha and is born in a Vaishnava family. From childhood he was a devotee. बचपन से ही गौर गोविंद महाराज भक्त थे और शुरू से बचपन से चैतन्य चरितामृत पढ़ते थे. And he was a school teacher. He had a wife, 2, 3 children. At the age of, and he will always pray, "Oh Lord, please give me Shuddha Bhakti, so that I can preach Shuddha Bhakti." At the age of 44, he somehow developed renunciation and went to Himalayas for search of a guru. He already had taken sannyas. And he comes and meets Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada asked her, and when Prabhupada met him, Prabhupada in very less time gave him first initiation, second initiation, and sannyas also. And many other godbrothers were telling, don't give him sannyas, don't give him sannyas. He's a new man. Prabhupada said, you are a new man. He's the old one. And he was such a powerful speaker. So his family, including, yeah. So he left his family in 1974 to search for a spiritual master who could guide him in sannyas. Then he met Srila Prabhupada in 1974, received initiation for Srila Prabhupada. He faced numerous challenges in establishing the temple, and he would transcribe Srila Prabhupada's books in Odia language there. And Bhubaneswar, there's a samadhi of His Holiness Gaur Govind Swami Maharaj. What was very special about him, he was a very advanced Vaishnava at the level of prema. He would also develop the ecstatic symptoms, which are mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So he was a perfected being, because he was a devotee from childhood there. And his classes are so powerful, detaching one from sense gratification and taking shelter of Krishna. There was so much power in it. And that was the mercy of Sri Gaur Govind Swami Maharaj. He was one of the most senior devotees at that time. In 96, one meeting, he went into Samadhi, Krishna, 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 and then he left his body. direct in Mayapur, going to spiritual world. He entered the state of bhava and then he left his body. That is Gaur Govind Swami Maharaj. Went home back to Dadar. And his lectures are very, very powerful. Anybody thought? So while giving a lecture on the pastimes of Radha and Krishna, he was placed in Samadhi. He passed away there. And his legacy continues to ISKCON temple in Bhubaneswar. His Holiness Haldar Swami Maharaj, a disciple of Gaur Govind Maharaj. Another disciple is His Holiness Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. There. Now, who was Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj? He was Srila Prabhupada's man. So, he joined ISKCON in 1967 in San Francisco. And first he married, because he was living with Grahastha devotees, he married. And later on he realized that married life is not for him. And Prabhupada gave him sannyas. And he was one, so Tamal Krishna Maharaj and Vishnujan Maharaj, they had come to meet Prabhupada. So Vishnujan Maharaj, they come a rich person, and Tamal Krishna Maharaj a poor person. So as poor person, they will ask a lot of questions, and the rich person will not ask much question. And they really want to test whether Prabhupada gives more time to rich person or to poor person. But Prabhupada gave more time to person who was asking questions, and that convinced them the genuine spiritual master and the surrender to Prabhupada. And Tamal Krishna Maharaj did so much service to Srila Prabhupada. When nobody is able to do service in ISKCON, Prabhupada said, call Tamal. And that service would be done. So Mayapur land, what is ISKCON Mayapur, right, today? So much, 700 acres of land. Of course, that time it was few acres. So devotees were not able to get land in Mayapur. It was very difficult. There were Muslims, there were Chor Chakas, and they were not getting to let anyone. And Prabhupada said, Tamal will do. And Tamal Krishna Maharaj goes and get a land for Srila Prabhupada. And Prabhupada was waiting night, Tamal did not come. And Tamal Krishna Maharaj comes and said, Prabhupada, this land is yours. A trusted servant of Srila Prabhupada. Personally trained by Srila Prabhupada in management, etiquette and preaching. Interested in starting temples across the West Coast. Known for his fearlessness and his strong leadership. First GBC of India. To preach in India is very difficult. Manage major programs like Cross Maidan, Pandal in Mumbai. Help acquire land for Mayapur and Jew temples. And played a crucial role in bringing Krishna books into India despite massive opposition. So one time, there was a strike in Kolkata port, and the books were stuck, and they had to come for Mumbai festival. And then nobody could get the books, and Tamal Krishna Maharaj went to Delhi, met the minister, convinced him, and get the books done. Then is Radha Damodar Sankirtan party. Prabhupada named the bus party as Radha Damodar because of they had tied the deities by ropes because they should not fall. So therefore the ropes became Radha Damodar. It was such a, and he was leading in the Vishnujan Swami Maharaj. And they would make devotees so fast. The devotee making program was very, very fast. The devotee will come, Tamal Krishna Maharaj will convince him about Krishna consciousness and he will shave up his head. There. And they will bring to Prabhupada. Prabhupada, we have so many new devotees for you. So it was a very fast growing bus party in America. And Americans, they don't think, if they take up something, they take up. They leave something, they leave up also very fast. And embodied Srila Prabhupada's idea of full surrender. Accepted chastisement with humility. So many times if somebody chastises, it becomes humble. It becomes painful for us. But one time, Tamal Krishna Maharaj made a mistake in management, and Prabhupada in front of guests said, oh, he doesn't know how to manage. He is not intelligent. And Tamal Krishna Maharaj will quote, oh, my spiritual master called me not intelligent, called me foolish. So he would like chastisement of Srila Prabhupada. And he was like servant of the, he has written a book, Servant of the servant, and is always known as Prabhupada's right hand. Carried Srila Prabhupada's vision to mainland China, preached undercover in difficult communist environment, inspired many to take to Krishna consciousness in the East. So what had happened one time, Prabhupada, there was some uh, reason between some things was happening between there. And Prabhupada said you should go from Radha Damodar party to some place. And should I go to China? And Prabhupada said, yes, you should go to China. And he did a lot of preaching in China, and still preaching is happening in China. And he spoke and Kirtan and Vaishnava association. That was his main thing. And he, in 2004, while leaving from Mayapur, some devotee had told, this is my last day, the last time we're meeting. And on the way, while going to Mayapur, his car got an accident near the Samadhi of Haridas Thakur. It was 5 a.m. in the morning, Brahmara time. It was the day of disappearance of Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. He gave up his life and went to the spiritual world. Went to serve Srila Prabhupada. Then Bhakti Tirth Swami Maharaj. He's an black American. So he was a person who is born in poverty, but became a very rich person. Rags to riches. So that's the story of Bhakti Tirth Maharaj. He's born in the ghettos and black, and there was a racial discrimination. There was a racial discrimination in America. So very poor background. But he rose to become a global leader. He studied in Princeton University, graduated, and he turned down his lucrative career for search of God. So stand banking. Then one of his guided, oh, if you really want to know spirituality, you should go to Srila Prabhupada. And what had happened when he came to temple, so some devotees were treated him as black. And he went to Prabhupada. Prabhupada, here also, in our ISKCON also, there is a racial discrimination. So Prabhupada said, if they are doing racial discrimination, you are also on body platform that you are identifying yourself as black and feeling racial discrimination. And that enlightened him. So Prabhupada always lifted a disciple above bodily consciousness. One time, one lady disciple comes to Srila Prabhupada and asks Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, you've written in books women are less intelligent. And Srila Prabhupada said, if you think you're a woman, then you're less intelligent. And I have been teaching you're not his body or spirit soul. Still you're identifying yourself as woman. So you're less intelligent. So Prabhupada always elevated his disciples from bodily platform to spiritual platform. Otherwise, if you see in India, traditionally, nobody who is Malecha or from foreign countries could become a Vaishnava or a Brahmana. But Prabhupada uplifted them from that bodily identification and raised them on the platform of soul. Raised them on the platform of soul. And it's one of the very important things of Prabhupada's teachings. So initiated as Ghanshyam Das. And his preaching was so powerful. He was in library party. And when there is no hope, he would give full set of books, even those set of books which have not yet appeared in the libraries. And during that time, there was an iron curtain in Russia. So if you want to learn missionary spirit, you should hear the stories of these great souls. So there was an iron curtain In Russia, you cannot take any religious books. But Bhakti Tirth Maharaj took a truck of books in Russia and was praying intensely to the Lord Rishabh Prabhupada. He got a truck of full of books. And then at the checkpost, he had a dog. And they were not allowing the dog. He said, how can you not allow my dog? So he made them in the dog and they forgot to check the truck. And he took the truck and went ahead and carried one solid load of book of boxes into Russia. They took so much of risk to our disciples to preach. So unless we take risk, we cannot preach. Right? So we need to take some rest for the purpose of preaching. These great souls give up their life for preaching. So how many of you really want to preach? Give it to others. Krishna consciousness, what you are getting. Please raise your hand if you want to give it to others what you are getting. Right? So you should study their. Only few have raised hand. Others, I think, little busy to raise hand, or they may not know how to raise a hand. So okay, thank you. So many have raised hand. So when we give Krishna consciousness to others, we feel very satisfied. And I think last Sunday I spoke upon in Sarjapur, I spoke about preaching with knowledge, conviction, and compassion. Right? So that's very amazing. And relentless travel, and he will chant 32 rounds. Every day he will chant 32 rounds. And then devotees will say, you're chanting 32 rounds, right? I've done so much sinful activity, so I need to do more bhakti. That was his mode. He was never proud of his doing more bhakti. We do little bhakti, we start telling you, see, I'm doing so much. I'm doing so much. There. And but he was doing so much, but think I've done so many sinful activities, therefore I need to do more bhakti. That was his mode. Preach across America. Now one thing had happened. During 2000, see, there was a devotee named Vasudev Datta in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So he went to Mahaprabhu and said, Mahaprabhu, I'm feeling very painful in my heart seeing so many people suffering. Please, you take everybody back home, back to Godhead, and I'm ready to suffer for of their karma. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so pleased. He said, Vasudev, you have purchased me, your Prahlad Maharaj, who had such compassion. You have purchased him by your compassion. In the same spirit of Vasudev Datta, Bhakti Tirth Maharaj saw the problems of so many devotees, so many problems with Srila Prabhupada disciples. And he was praying to Krishna, Oh Lord, you give all these troubles of their problems to me, but make them come out of problems and go towards you. And Krishna heard his prayers and he got a melanoma cancer. And he was very happy. He didn't say why Krishna gave it to me. He was very happy that I'm able to serve other devotees by taking their problem. That was the heart of Bhakti Tirth Swami Maharaj. He prayed to suffer to ease others' lives, soon diagnosed with cancer, accepted illness and divine benediction. And generally, people like to die in Vrindavan. But he wanted to show that Srila Prabhupada's centers are not different from Vrindavan. So he chose to pass away in America in Gita Nagari farm. And his Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj was very much busy in meetings in New Vrindavan. But then Bhakti Tirth Maharaj was in final days of cancer. There's a lot of pain. Anytime he can leave. And he called for Radhanath Maharaj. And Maharaj cancelled all his engagements and came to Gita Nagari to be with Bhakti Tirth Maharaj. So how we should be caring for fellow devotees. That's what this Maharaj shows. there. And I remember that time 2005 it happened. I was very new in Krishna consciousness, I was 1 year old. Like most of you, I was there. But that was so inspiring hearing this, that how devotees give time for each other. Because ultimately, we may not remember Krishna at the time of death. It's the devotees who remind us of Krishna at the time of death. But Bhakti Tirth Maharaj and Radha Maharaj will discuss so many topics on Krishna's Madhurya Leela, and other devotees were not allowed in that discussion. And then with hours together discussing about Krishna's Ras Leela, and many topics for hours together, in which even new devotees, the younger devotees were not allowed there. And once Bhakti Tirth Maharaj was doing Kirtan, tears flowed from my eyes. A lot of pain because his collarbone had broken, he was on bed, hardly any blood, but saying, I'm feeling so happy, so ecstasy. It is getting there. In that state, he was so ecstatic. And that's the time Bhakti Tirth Maharaj, he because in Maharaj shared private realizations and deep love. And so many devotees were coming to meet him. And they were actually getting very much transformed there just because in this time. And he was telling, I would not be able to transform the devotees unless I have received this. And he felt Srila Prabhupada speaking through him, empowered like never before. And finally, the day he was leaving, he said, Srila Prabhupada has come. Srila Prabhupada has sent the vehicle to take me. And then he passed away in a very divine consciousness doing Kirtan. Now you may think we are talking about all sannyasis. No, but there is Har Grace Yamuna Mataji and 3 couples. Right? You will see. You might have heard this song many times. So this was sung by Yamuna Mataji.
Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Hari Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Hari Purusham Tamaham Bhajami
Dayataptam Mahavatam Samasitam Sundaram
Kandar Agom Vigamaniya Vishesha Shobha Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Jami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Jami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Andani Asa Sakale Priya Vriti Manti Pasyanti Panti Kayanti Tiram Naganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govindam Adi Purusham Amaham.
So this song, how many of you heard in ISKCON temple this beautiful song, Govindam Adi Purusham? Right? So every day during Darshan Aarti, this song is played in our Jagannath Mandir at 7:30. So this was sung by Yamuna Mataji. And Papa says she's on the level of Bhava, just before Prema, when she sang there. So, so every ISKCON temple, this is being played. And one day, my spiritual master was giving class, and she was sitting in the class. And one devotee's ringtone rang as is Govindam Adi Purusham. And Maharaj just joked, Yamuna Mataji expanded so many places. Of course, she passed away in 2008, something, I'm not remembering the year. And she was given Samadhi in Vrindavan along with the sannyasis. Because she dedicated life so much for Srila Prabhupada. So she came to cook for the marriage of his sister, and there's a time Prabhupada taught her cooking, and she became a devotee. And she introduced many, many devotees to Prabhupada. See, this is three couples. Now, what these three couples did, see, just imagine the sacrifice of Srila Prabhupada disciples. What it takes to preach. These three couples in London, Srila Prabhupada sent Mukunda Prabhu, Mike, who became Mukunda Prabhu, to San Francisco. And San Francisco, he made many, many devotees. And while he was in San Francisco, Mukunda Prabhu and Janki, Gurudas Prabhu and Yamuna Mataji, Shyam Sundar Prabhu and Malti. Prabhupada sent these three couples to London. Because previously, Bhaktivedanta Swami Thakur had sent the sannyasis to London and they were not successful. So Prabhupada had come to America to preach and he was tremendously successful. And then Prabhupada got these three couples to go to London. Prabhupada taught them how to do Kirtan. And Prabhupada told, just do Harinam Sankirtan. People will become devotees. People will become devotees, just do Harinam Sankirtan. And because you're doing for the pleasure of your Guru. You're doing for the pleasure of your Guru. You're doing with Bhakti. Then what will happen? You will able to do transformation. And it happened. So this three, now they didn't have any money. Malti Mataji had even a daughter also. And didn't had any money to live. And one day they had to pay the rent to the house owner. They didn't have a rent. Somewhere dollar notes came flying to Shyam Sundar and he gave the rent. So when somebody take risk to serve his Guru, nothing is impossible. And that's what the story of these three couples. Of course, the story of Srila Prabhupada, but they surrendered to Srila Prabhupada and they did impossible thing. So when we surrender our life, take risk to serve our superior, serve senior devotees who wants to preach, serve Guru Parampara, Krishna is with us. There. So that's a life of sacrifice there. And they made George Harrison a devotee. Now, who was George Harrison? He was a famous pop star at that time. And he was so famous that truckload of letters would come of his followers to George Harrison. So there. And George Harrison was a famous band of Beatles. He becomes a devotee. And when he becomes a devotee, you see here this couple, and they start making a records. And in her studio, and Yamuna Mata is singing, and this George Harrison is an old fellow. And because he was very famous in London, the two headlines come, Hare Krishna startles London. And there was a great enthusiasm. So this was Yamuna Mataji. Okay. Now His Holiness Bhakti Chara Swami Maharaj left us during COVID time, but a life dedicated to Srila Prabhupada. If you have seen this Abhay Charan serial, what I was talking about, Abhay Charan serial, is made by Bhakti Swami Maharaj. He took all trouble to make that serial for Prabhupada. So life dedicated to Srila Prabhupada. So born in September 1945, Brahman Baria, Bengal, now Bangladesh. Raised in an aristocratic family, studied chemistry in Germany. 75, returned to India to pursue spiritual life. He went to Himalayas to search a guru and felt despondent after a year. And then he met Srila Prabhupada in 1976, found Nectar of Devotion book, and then realized Prabhupada was a spiritual master, joined ISKCON in Mayapur. And Srila Prabhupada gave an instruction, never leave ISKCON. And Prabhupada gave him he became Prabhupada's personal servant in India. And Prabhupada gave him first initiation, second initiation, told him to translate books in Bengali. And first and second, and 97, he received first initiation, second initiation, and 1977 only Prabhupada gave him sannyas. There. And I met Bhakti Swami Maharaj. So sweet voice, so much of devotion. Whenever Maharaj would speak, as if nectar is pouring out. But Maharaj left us. And Maharaj made a beautiful temple in Ujjain. Recently, I had gone to Ujjain in Ujjain. Very beautiful temple of ISKCON in Ujjain. If anyone will go there, please go there. And legacy continue. Then his name is Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. Last year in 23, Maharaj I think last year Maharaj left us, and he's a senior disciple of Srila Prabhupada and global ISKCON leader. He was also one of the first GBCs of India. In fact, he met Srila Prabhupada in Montreal in USA. Then he came to India, got married, and he was so surrendered to Srila Prabhupada. He was a very big post in Pepsi. He was so surrendered to Prabhupada, whole of his salary he will give to Srila Prabhupada. And then his wife will come and Prabhupada will give him some money to run the family. And finally, he took sannyas, Gopal Krishna Maharaj. But what did he do after taking sannyas? He was GBC for so many places. So he was born in 1944 in Delhi when Prabhupada was struggling to distribute Back to Godhead magazine. And initiated in 1969 and took sannyas in 1981 after Srila Prabhupada departed there, and GBC in 1974. So it's very instrumental expanding ISKCON in North India. So last 10-15 years, so much preaching has happened in Delhi and around. It's amazing. All due to His Holiness Gopal Krishna Swami Maharaj. In fact, Pune, Gopal Krishna Maharaj had asked Radhanath Maharaj to send a devotee to Pune, and that time Radhanath Maharaj sent Radheshyam Prabhu to become temple president of ISKCON Pune, and that's a lot of youth preaching happened. And we all came through that youth preaching. So Gopal Krishna Maharaj and Radhanath Swami Maharaj were both GBCs of ISKCON in VCC, Pune. There, they both were GBCs there, and his proper son, like the way Prabhupada emphasizes book distribution, he would give emphasis for book distribution. There's so much emphasis book distribution there. So he was chairman of BBT, chairman of Bureau, and so many temples. Now, Delhi around 18 temples have come. So when the Rohini temple came, the Maharaj said, I've done my service of 18 temples in Delhi. And after that, only Maharaj left. So that was his promise. The Prabhupada told there should be many temples in Delhi. He did, at 18 temples in Delhi, he did that service, and then he left. There, Gopal Krishna Maharaj. And his East of Kailash, Glory of India, was inaugurated in 1980 by Indian President. A center for education, cultural outreach, and congregation growth. Russia. In Russia, Maharaj sent so many books and personally preached in Moscow there and guided ISKCON Russia. And 2011, Gita was banned. Maharaj fought for that also and brought a strong relationship with Indian diplomats in Russia. He was preaching in Africa also, Nairobi, Uganda, Tanzania. He would sleep night 12 o'clock, 4 o'clock again he's back in the altar. He's talking to disciples till night 12 o'clock and again morning 4 o'clock he's in the altar. And he will remember all his disciples' name. So many of my friends are Gopal Krishna Maharaj disciples. So then total loyalty to Srila Prabhupada instructions, promote strict sadhana scripture study, believes deeply in preaching through book distribution, and maintains simplicity, discipline, and humility despite various responsibilities. So this I'm talking the gurus who were there, and now we have them in memory. Their Vani is with us. But now I will talking about the gurus who are current acharyas living. And there are many, but I am able to focus only few because already is only 20 minutes left practically, so I don't have much time. So I'll just focus on some, and I may leave some gurus, so please forgive me for that if anyone feels something. But I'm just mainly focusing the gurus whom I have seen, interacted, and who are majorly based in India. There are many disciples in India, and still they are offering initiations. So first, the senior most disciple is only Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, and Maharaj is the GBC head of our Bangalore. He is GBC, Governing Body Commissioner, and he's also comes to Bangalore quite often. Last time Maharaj visited in 2023, then 2022 Maharaj had come, and Maharaj always recently you would have seen we have sent the reports to Maharaj, and Maharaj very much appreciated the preaching reports there. So he is John, God's son, Gordon John, Milwaukee. He came Milwaukee, and his grandfather founded a multi-million-dollar paint factory. He was into military academy, and he was inspired by lecture on Buddha, law of and studies. Born into wealth, he saw deeper meaning in life. In 1968, he met Jayanand Prabhu. Jayanand Prabhu was making a Rath Yatra cart. And Maharaj just came as a young boy. And Jayanand Prabhu told him, why not you hit a nail? And he hit a nail on the cart. And Jayanand Prabhu appreciated it so much. And said, oh, for hitting a nail, you are appreciated so much. If you join this movement, how nice it would be. And he was very much impressed with Jayanand Prabhu. So, and he visited ISKCON San Francisco during Rath Yatra, decided to seek a spiritual teacher in India. So he went to India, couldn't find. When he came back to America in Montreal, that time he met Srila Prabhupada and got convinced. And he became Jayapataka Das Brahmachari. And Prabhupada said, you were sent by Krishna to me. And in 1968, he became president of ISKCON Module Center, helped open ISKCON Center in Toronto, Chicago. And then in 1970, he came to Kolkata and became president of Kolkata. And 72, he was sent to Mayapur. And then 72 also only he got sannyas diksha. So it's crossed more than 50 years of, so when 22 Maharaj had come, we had Maharaj 50 years of sannyas ceremony. 50 golden jubilee of sannyas of His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj there. And Srinathji Prabhu once, and that time, Maharaj was not a very healthy body, he was simple, slim, young man. And Prabhupada took him to Srinathji Prabhu's house. And Srinathji Prabhu's father was an MP. And he told to Srinathji Prabhu that he is the associate of Lord Chaitanya, get him a visa, Indian visa. And that time Maharaj was saying, why Prabhupada is saying this is there, then this thing Srinathji Prabhu come from in a class that he said, the Prabhupada said this, that is an associate of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. there. And if you see Maharaj's love for Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his prema for Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you understand he's an associate of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There. This coming to deliver the souls here in this world. And many of our devotees, they have taken Diksha from His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, and is very merciful, very easily gives Diksha also there and temple processes. And in our temple, many devotees, um, they are Jayapataka Swami Maharaj disciples. And Maharaj learned Bengali, and he gave up his American visa. Not easy to give American visa, but he did. So 1970 learned fluent Bengali from local farmers in Mayapur, conduct house and pandal programs in Bengali, engage with Gaudiya Math, and deliver message for Prabhupada to senior Vaishnavas. So Namhatta program, Bhakti Vriksha program, congregation preaching, and even preaching in Bangalore is also developed by His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj from early 90s, 96. In fact, Hare Krishna Hill was established by Rajajinagar ISKCON temple, dative Srila Jayapataka Swami Maharaj itself there. And Madhu Pandit Prabhu is a disciple of Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. But circumstances went by and he separated. But Maharaj continued to preach and continued to. So all the 3-4 temples what have come in Bangalore is by inspiration of His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj. And Maharaj says that make Bangalore the first Krishna conscious city. So how much we should preach to fulfill his dream and desire. But in 2008, Maharaj got a stroke. And so before I come to that part, so Pundarik Dham, 5 acres at Acharya's birthplace, 60% land acquired. So Maharaj had establishing, lotus footprint of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in different places there. And lead devotees to Navdeep's holy site, narrate passages of Lord Chaitanya's senior devotees. And can you imagine, even before getting a stroke, he will travel so much. In one day, he will be in 3 countries. And in 2008, he got a stroke. Doctor said there's no possibility he would stay. But Maharaj survived. That was a miracle for the doctors. Now, generally, somebody has got a stroke, his half body is paralyzed. He may think to just spend life in seclusion and not do much. But Maharaj's service attitude kept on increasing with his health. And though there's a team of 20, some 2-3 doctors travels with him and 10-15 servants travel with him, still he traveled to all temples in his job. Okay. I know how many of us there taking so many of responsibilities, so much of pain. As Janvi Mataji had said initially, Maharaj had crossed all health boundary. His health also cannot stop him there. So that's how the power of his devotion, service, and said. And Prabhupada had told him to come to Kolkata Rath Yatra. So every year, wherever he is, he'll be there for Kolkata Rath Yatra. No matter how much sick he is, he'll come to Kolkata there. So Maharaj says that Prabhupada gave me 100 instructions. My all disciples take the instructions and you follow them there. So travel despite physical challenges and travel over 1 million nautical miles, 100 plus global trips. And our general secretary for so many places. And around 35,000 disciples are in Bangladesh only. And so this is a lot more about His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. The time is limited. With how much I speak is less. And now I'd like to speak about His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. So Maharaj There's a whole journey. He has written a book, Journey Home, how he came to Krishna consciousness. How he came to Krishna consciousness. So at the age of 19, he was in America. Though his mother was an American, father American, but he would like to sit in the ground and eat, and he wouldn't like to eat anything wrong and meat or something from childhood. And he dropped out from his college, and he wanted to search God. Is my speed fine, or is my speed a second? You're able to catch up what my speed is for.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
Okay, okay. I'm not getting any comments, so there. Yeah. And so saying, so Zunarana Maharaj, at the age of 19, he has a great longing to search for God. So he took a flight to London, and London he came and he saw the Christians, churches and things. He said he wanted to search more. And he was meditating on a mountain, and a voice came, go to India. And he had no money, zero money. And he hitchhiked from London to India, coming from Israel, Istanbul, Iran, Iraq, Pakistan, and so many life-threatening dangers. But in his book Journey Home, he talks about, if anybody wants to know more about Maharaj, please read this book Journey Home. You'll get to know so many things about Maharaj there. And he comes all the way. And Pakistan, when he was entering the Indian boundary, at that time, the Pakistani asked him, that Pakistani, the security officer, take out money, and didn't have money. He said, I will not allow you to go. No, it was an Indian officer at the Pakistan border, Indian border, said, take out money. He said, no money. I don't want, already we have so many beggars, don't beggars to come. Now the duty shifted. And one other person came, and Maharaj begged him, please allow me to go. I will do good to the people of your country. And he allowed Maharaj to come. And Maharaj comes. And here he was searching for God. He met different people. He had a journey, he was going to journey to Amarnath, and that time he landed up in Vrindavan. Now before that, he had met Srila Prabhupada in Bombay Pandal, there, heard lectures, and Prabhupada called him from there, and Prabhupada was not allowing to touch anybody's feet, but Maharaj came and touched Prabhupada's feet, and Prabhupada allowed him. Now he was in Patna. In Patna, there was a devotee of Lord Ram. And this devotee of Ram in Patna would always tell the Ram Katha, his sannyasi. But he was telling in Hindi, and Maharaj didn't know Hindi, he knew only English. Then one devotee would translate for him. And he will tell him about Krishna's Makhan Chor Leela. Krishna stealing butter, or Mother Yashoda binding Damodar. And he would say, see, you all people discuss for 3-4 hours and you're telling me just little Leela. You're telling me just a little Leela. And Maharaj said, and that person said, actually my Guru told that he is a devotee of Krishna. Don't tell him. Lord Ram came in the dream of my Guru and told he's a devotee of Krishna. Don't tell him Ram stories. And one day Maharaj was sitting in Rishikesh, meditating, and he heard the Hare Krishna Mahamantra from the Mother Ganges himself. And from that time, he started chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And when Maharaj finally came to Vrindavan, he liked Vrindavan so much he couldn't leave Vrindavan. And he met many gurus. He had seen Naga Babas who were levitating. And they were telling, please take initiation. He was not impressed by them. He was looking for some more, he was looking for God there. In Vrindavan, many Babas say, I will initiate you. He didn't take initiation. In fact, he went to some of proper disciples like Bon Maharaj, their ashram. Still, he was not convinced. But in Vrindavan, when he met Srila Prabhupada, he was convinced. That's my Guru. He's thinking, I came in search of God all the way from Chicago to India. But this person's love of God is so high, he went from all the way of Vrindavan to America to give people love of God. And Maharaj Krishna Prabhupada is his Guru at that time. And then Maharaj came to New Vrindavan in 1972, and he so much he surrendered his life to Prabhupada there. And he had made up his mind, if I surrender to some guru, I'll take his instruction very seriously. So he was given very, very tough services. He would do the Pujari Seva New Vrindavan, and whole night he would do Kirtan. Whole night he would do Kirtan there. And for few years he didn't sleep only. Hardly 2-3 hours in a day he would sleep for a few years. And that's why life came. Then 1986 Maharaj came to India. He was doing very successful college preaching. And then he was told to leave it, immediately he was ready to leave. And Maharaj came to India. And that's how the preaching began, grew, and Gaurang Prabhu, Radheshyam Prabhu, they came in 91, 93, and 92 around they came. Bhakti-Rasan Maharaj came around 1987 when Maharaj preaching. So that's how the whole preaching grew, flourished. And Maharaj was in Chapati there. And then Pune, Nasik, Belgaum, so many places preaching is expanding by the mercy of Maharaj. And Maharaj is very famous for his very powerful classes. So I just wanted to show you some sample of Maharaj class with his deep wisdom, deep there. So here's one purpose of life. This video was very for me.
Objects can satisfy the senses of the body.
So the video on what is the purpose of
Fundamental
life.
need of every living being is to love and to be loved. Without that, nothing can really satisfy the heart. Objects can satisfy the senses of the body. Various emotional gratifications can satisfy the mind. But the heart is yearning, longing to love and to be loved. In the Brahma Sutra it is said, Anandamayobhyashat, which means the inherent nature of every living being is we are seeking pleasure. It's something we all have in common. Even the little ant that is crawling on the floor is seeking pleasure in a particle of sugar. The procreation of all living beings is based on that longing for pleasure. But only love can give pleasure to the heart. And we can see, for example, in a child, if a child is given a beautiful home, wonderful toys and games, but that child does not feel loved, the child will be insecure, unstable, and unsatisfied. It is our nature. Whether we are black or white or red or yellow in color, whether we're American or Russian or Indian or Pakistani or Palestinian or Israeli, whether we're young or old, rich or poor, whatever our particular designation may be in this world, our inherent need is to express and feel love for someone else and to feel loved by someone else. Why is it that we all have that in common? According to the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is because it is the inherent nature of the soul. The soul is part of God. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabunai Sravanadi Sudhicheti Kuriya Yudoi. That love of God is dormant within the heart of every living being. But we have forgotten that love. So we're trying to find that experience of pleasure in so many ways in this world. And because it's not really satisfying our need, so much frustration. And due to that frustration, human beings can act in such strange and often dangerous ways to themselves, to others, and to the planet. It's all in the search of love. So the purpose of life is to redirect that propensity to love of the soul back toward God. And when we experience God's unlimited love, and we feel the unlimited of the love of the soul for God, included within that experience is compassion and love for every living being. That is what everyone is looking for. That is the essence of every religion. And that is the highest purpose of life.
So, Maharaj's great wisdom on the spiritual subject matters, and in fact, His Grace Radhesham Prabhu, Gaurang Prabhu, Gaur Gopal Prabhu, there are disciples of Maharaj. Maharaj trained them, Bhaktivinoda Maharaj there. So to try, of course, to take Diksha from Maharaj takes long time there. And Maharaj says, you can take Shiksha from me and you can take Diksha from my God brothers. There. So Maharaj is not very eager to give Diksha to the devotees. There. So, and his life is of Vaishnava values, of Vaishnava teachings, relationship, nice relationship between devotees. There. And Godhan Eco Village, Bhaktivedanta Hospital, and divine love, compassion to all beings, and much more. So, okay, so I'll just some other gurus. His name is Loknath Swami Maharaj. So Maharaj Srila Prabhupada called him as Tukaram of ISKCON. So he preaches all over, especially in Nagpur, Maharashtra. I was born in Maharashtra, like a Tukaram, and very beautiful kirtans. His kirtans are mesmerizing. Then his own Radha Govind Maharaj Swami is famous for Bhagavatam Katha, Bhagavad Katha after Bhagavad Katha. His ruchi in Bhagavatam is so deep. When Maharaj speaks on Bhagavatam, it's just pure nectar. And Bhakti Swami Maharaj was very famous for his cutting. He speaks, following Prabhupada very strictly, strongly preaching, cutting sun certification there, and he had many very strict disciples. And his Sankarshan Das Adhikari Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, welcome back to Video for the Day. This is Sankarshan Das speaking to you from ISKCON, Austin, Texas, USA. The following video footage is very dear to me. It shows Prabhupada chanting back in the 60s on Hippie Hill in San Francisco. This is where I first met the devotees. They were just coming from Hippie Hill, where they were doing the kirtan. I first met them right there as they was coming off Hippie Hill. plus the fact that I was also from the hippie movement, and a hippie friend of mine turned me on to this Hare Krishna mantra back in 1968. So it's quite nice footage. I'll go ahead and let you see it now. They call it the hippie religion. That's the name of the footage. Thanks for tuning in. Hare Krishna.
Which is through email.
He embodied spirituality, and his disciples wanted it. They said, we want some of that. Whatever it is he's having, I want that. So this is the guru.
So many hippies were really in love with Prabhupada and in love with the devotees and considered the Hare Krishna to be the hippie religion at this point.
If everyone in the United States believed in Krishna to the extent that you do, what would happen to this country? How would it be transformed?
They'll be very happy and peaceful. There will be no more hippies.
What would you describe as a hippie? Someone who smokes.
You know better than me.
We're showing Prabhupada footage. So some of the great souls, what we discuss, and so amazing. So thank you so much for coming. So much to speak, but in the interest of time, I keep it short. And I would have missed surely many more spiritual masters, and our new generation of spiritual masters are coming, like proper disciples. They're becoming gurus and sannyasis. Thank you so much. Any questions? Any questions? Anybody has?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Madhuri.
Prabhuji, I read around 10,000 disciples Prabhupada made during his time. So all of them did not become like Diksha Gurus or any Guru position.
No, actually, only 20%, only 1-2,000, many disciples left also after Srila Prabhupada left. And Prabhupada has said also that many of my disciples may leave, they go to heaven and things there. So those who are in a very spiritual standing and things, see, because Guru has a qualification, right, there. So not everybody can, those who made their progress, then they became Gurus.
Oh, thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, Maharaj, we are calling Maharaj, Swami Maharaj and Prabhuji and Srila Prabhupada. How the difference, Prabhuji, what is the difference? I don't know. I don't have any knowledge about it. Can we call you Maharaj?
So what is I tell you? See, what happened is ISKCON. So they join brahmachari. So when they join brahmachari, first they shave their head. Right? They shave their head. Then they remain in white. After remaining in white for 4-5 years, they take saffron. But still they are brahmacharis. Now after spending time in brahmachari life of 15-20 years, like 55-60, they take sannyas. So that time when they take sannyas, they are called Swami and Maharaj. And till the time, even in saffron, they are called Prabhu only, because they are not taken sannyas.
Okay, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, Srila Prabhupada, that also given to all. It is any
So Srila Prabhupada was a grahastha, then he took one-person, he took sannyas. And then he went, and for Prabhupada, he always addresses His Divine Grace, Isi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. There. Or Jayam Vishnupad Paramhans Paricharya Ashuddha Divine Grace, Isi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. There.
Okay, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, few of our my
and for
relatives.
Sannyasis, we use His Holiness, and for Prabhus, we use His Grace, and for Mataji's Her Grace. Yeah.
Prabhuji, one more question, Prabhuji. A few of my relatives, they are following meditation, Dhyana Yoga. So sometimes if any discussion comes, they ask that, do you have any faith that all your gurus got liberation? There's those type of questions they ask, Prabhuji. So how
Yes,
to how
I
to
told a
answer this?
story. So I told a story of Bhakti Tirth Maharaj.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Bhakti Tirth Maharaj. So Bhakti Tirth Maharaj was there. So Bhakti Tirth Maharaj was, like I said, he's was telling that Prabhupada has come to take me. How Bhakti Tirth Maharaj left, and I told a story how Tamal Krishna Maharaj left, how Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj left. Very divine consciousness they are living. Recently, Kadam Kanan Maharaj Swami left his body in Vrindavan, remembering Krishna. And Krishna says, anybody who leaves my body remembering me, he goes back home, back to Godhead.
I think I missed all those classes, Prabhu. So I don't have that knowledge.
No, in this class also I told, no, Bhakti Tirth Swami Maharaj.
Yes, Prabhu, that you told.
So like that, we can see the devotees, they're actually absorbed in Krishna consciousness there. How Srila Prabhupada was doing translation, and he's leaving, going to leave body and translating Bhagavatam. How it's possible?
Yes,
So they're
please.
actually seeing Krishna and going to the other world.
Yes, Prabhu.
Hmm.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yes. So any other question?